And to recap, starting tonight through August 28th, lane reductions will start on the Pike. In the middle of that period, it'll be a very, very intense lane reduction and a lot of construction going on and impacts to travel of all particular modes. Drivers should reduce, reroute, and remode their travel. Plan ahead, give themselves plenty of time to reach where they need to go. Use all the tools that are available to you to plan to get to your destination and make sure your travel and impacts are reduced as much as possible. I realize this is a lot of information that we're providing you today. Again, it's a very complex project and I can't emphasize it enough. It's going to cause major, major impacts. So for people to be well informed, we urge you to seek out the project webpage linked on MassDOT's website, fully understand what you're getting into before you leave for your destination. And with that, we're available to take any questions. And again, we have a lot of technical staff here. If you want to get into some details, I know we have some plans over there that you can look at as well. Yes, sir.
On the scale of congestion, are we talking Carmageddon or Carnado?
I don't want to put a name to it. I'll let you guys come up with its own nickname, but I will tell you that there is not a single person in the department that can recall a project that will have this widespread of the impacts that we're expecting. Again, modeling on this is showing that everywhere you go in and around this region, you will see some impacts. Again, if you haven't planned your vacation yet, this is a great time to do it because it's the less people we have using the route, that of course reduces the potential to have congestion. But we're expecting it to be really bad. If you need to come in from the western part of the state into the city, you should expect to run into some major, major delays. Again, we're looking at some of our modeling right now is suggesting it could be in excess of 40 minutes for your typical commute.
Do you guys have a list of alternate routes that you were suggesting that people could
No,
take?
so we're not necessarily suggesting alternate routes. We're asking people to, again, plan ahead, look at what alternate routes are out there, especially at alternate modes of transportation. If we can get you to get out of your car and onto a train or onto a subway or onto a bus or even onto a bicycle, or if you have an opportunity to walk, anything you can do to reduce the traffic congestion is only going to help.
When you tore down the toll booths this past year, you were calling that having the effect of like a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Is this the same, or is this maybe a little worse than that?
No, I'd say it's I'd say it is like having a really intense snowstorm. Although again, this is going to last for 18.5 days, of very high intensity during that period. And again, one of the things that made the when we started toll booth demolition, and we had again a very intense period of construction in the beginning, what made that so successful was the fact that people understood and knew what they were getting into and really planned ahead. So again, getting the word out there about what we're doing is vitally important to the success of this project.
And you have to do this before Labor Day weekend and before BU gets back into session.
Absolutely. So we carefully timed the construction around the schedule of everything else going on in the region. And this is the lowest traffic period to deal with. It's also, as you mentioned, BU is out of session, so it makes it a lot easier to not have to deal with a lot more pedestrians than what's normally there.
Do you envision more of a traffic nightmare as people try to avoid that area? Like instead of coming down Ave, they go to Babcock, turn, and then go through Brookline? So
there's a lot of alternate routes that people can take, and again, it all depends on where you're coming from, or frankly, in some cases, what mapping software you're using on in your car. So we have been working with all the communities in the region to make sure that they understand what could be happening, and we're going to be monitoring conditions very, very closely. We have a command center set up that we will have a lot of representatives from area communities in, and we will try to make adjustments as needed to make sure that traffic moves smoothly through the region.